time has expired. Senator Paterson.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. Smear by association is one of the cheapest, nastiest arguments to be made, and it is befitting of an intellectual lightweight. I had the misfortune of sitting in the Senate last night to hear Senator Keneally's contribution to the adjournment debate, and I've had the misfortune for again hearing the attacks by Senator Keneally and Senator Wong on Senator Stoker and others in this place. Attacking someone for attending an event where someone else has views that you find objectionable is a cheap and nasty smear, as I said, befitting of an intellectual lightweight. On this side of the chamber, we believe in personal responsibility, not collective responsibility. People who say things that are reprehensible deserve to be held responsible for it. People who happen to attend conferences with other people who say things which are reprehensible do not deserve to be held responsible for it. Please allow me to illustrate why, for your benefit, Senator Keneally. I imagine you, along with all your colleagues, have over the years attended many national conferences of the Labor Party attended by people such as John Setka. Am I to hold you personally responsible for all the offensive things that John Setka has said over the years? Attending a conference with him, does that constitute your endorsement and agreement with all of his ideas, all of the things he's said? I'll take that interjection.
Order.
Thank you, Senator Keneally. You said you're kicking him out. Yes, you are kicking him out now. The straw has finally broken the camel's back when it comes to John Setka. But it took an attack on Rosie Batty for you to do that. What about every other statement that he made prior to that? What about his attack outside the front of the Australian Building and Construction Commission, where he said that the families and children of public servants deserved to be attacked and singled out for their work?
Senator Paterson, resume your seat, please. Order. Senator Paterson has the right. Senator Wong. Senator Paterson has the right to be heard in silence. Senator Paterson. Senator Abetz, did you wish?
I think the Leader of the Opposition should withdraw the personal allegation against Senator Paterson that he's standing on a platform with racists.
Senator Wong.
I should have said Ms. Amanda Senator Stoker is standing on a platform with racists. I withdraw and I replace with that.
Please.
Clearly is a reflection. That is clearly a reflection.
I think we are getting into debating points.
No, the standing
Senator
orders.
Abetz, please resume your seat, Minister.
What I would ask you to do is to perhaps take this on notice and consider, because there is a very clear standing order which requires for there not to be reflections on the motivations of individual members and senators, and that is, on the face of it, a breach of that, and I think it should be considered on notice.
On the same point of order, Senator Wong. Thank you,
Deputy President. I don't think there is any argument that the same conference that Senator Stoker is attending is being attended by Raheem Kassam, who has labelled the Quran fundamentally evil and campaigned against Muslim migration. Now, I think that's racist. This is a statement of fact.
Thank you.
I'm not making assertions. People can draw their own
Senator
conclusions
Wong
about her.
and Senator Cormann, resume your seat. I didn't hear the comments. I will take your advice, Senator Cormann, and we will review the tapes and come back if there's anything to report on. So please continue your remarks, Senator Paterson, and I'll ask others to listen respectfully.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. I would be sensitive too if I had a decades-long personal and political association with characters as unsavoury as John Setka, and those opposite should be ashamed about their long association of someone of such poor character, and it reflects very poorly on them that it has taken them as long as it has for them to denounce him. But if it's good enough to them to level these accusations against coalition senators, then they should accept the exact same standard for themselves. If they think the attendance of Senator Stoker and Mr Kelly from the other place at a conference with people who have objectionable views, obviously objectionable views, then, and they are personally responsible for that, then you should all be willing to stand up here and take personal responsibility for the views that you've become associated with over the years by attending conferences with people such as John Setka. John Setka, by the way, is far from the only person to attend Labor Party conferences over the years with objectionable and offensive views. And if I had more time in this place, I would go through all the other union officials who have threatened violence, who have had despicable smears against people's characters that you've happily palled around with at your Labor conferences for years and years and years. I think the best thing I can do to close this discussion, though, is to read out the fantastic statement that Senator Stoker put out in response to Senator Keneally's smear last night. As Senator Stoker says, and I quote, "Senator Keneally is so muddle-headed, so weak in her thinking, that she seems to believe that everyone who walks into a room by definition has the same views on all issues. Any sensible person can see that that's not so. If we are doing our job properly as politicians, we should be talking with people from all walks of life every day. We don't agree with them all. Trying to shame into silence anyone who would speak to a person who is wrong on an issue damages our capacity for constructive democracy. We are confronted with people whom we disagree. We need to talk to them more, not less. We need to engage with and persuade people who with ideas we disagree with of the reasons why their views should shift."
Senator Paterson, please resume your seat. Senator Cormann.
The leader of the opposition is well aware,
Senator Wong,
that
we've got a point of
interjections
order.
are disorderly, and Senator Wong is constantly interjecting, and I ask you to call her to order.
Thank you, Senator Cormann. I have asked senators to listen respectfully, and I have asked Senator Wong in particular to do that, and I'll ask senators once again to listen respectfully to the debate, and I'll call Senator Paterson.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. I wouldn't want to hear it either, because I think it frames very clearly the dirty and despicable smear they're engaging in here. I will continue. It also means you can't walk into a room without doing background checks on everyone. That would be a real problem in the Labor Party. It's stupid, impractical and harmful for civil society. Clearly, Senator Keneally would rather that Australians are silenced and siloed rather than able to interact with people who have different beliefs. As Senator Stoker says, while I don't know all the speakers at CPAC, I'm proud to be talking about economic productivity at an event with people of the calibre of John Anderson AO, Jacinta Price and Janet Albertson, to name a few. If Senator Keneally had any intellectual consistency, she would also be casting nasty labels on other people like Steve Baxter, the former Labor-appointed head of the Office of Queensland Chief Entrepreneur, but of course she doesn't.
Thank you,